Meal planning is something that has saved my family a ton of money. Now, I am not someone who loves to cook. Like you hear people who say, oh, I love to cook. That wasn't me. But what I do love is providing my family with healthy, nutritious, tasty meals and spending the lowest amount possible on food so that I have more money left over to pay down debt and invest. So I'm going to be showing you how I use my weekly meal planner to plan out our meals in order to save money. You can get this weekly meal planner in, the link is down below in the description box. Check it out. That will also give you access to my email list. One of my goals for 2024 is to send an email every single week with helpful, relevant content that will save you money and help you make the most of your financial journey. So please come join me. You can always unsubscribe if you don't like the content, but I hope that you will like the content. So about us, we are a family of 3 living in Manhattan, which is an extremely high cost of living area. So it's me, my husband, and our 17-month-old daughter, and we all eat a lot of food. Like, we like to eat. So for reference, I do come into New Jersey for work, so I try to buy as many groceries as possible from New Jersey because I estimate that I save 30 to 50% on groceries by buying them in New Jersey. So for example, a gallon of milk, organic milk, will cost about $8 and change in Manhattan, and in New Jersey it will cost about $4 and change. So that's just kind of one example. On average, thankfully, staples like produce and meat and eggs tend to be pretty comparable price-wise. Where I see the biggest difference is in things like packaged goods like pasta and seasonings are huge, so I will try to buy those in New Jersey wherever possible. Also, our eating style is fresh, whole, unprocessed foods, again, wherever possible. We like our proteins in my family. All of us like proteins. My daughter's favorite foods are things like meat. She likes red meat. So I'm very surprised and happy about that. But that is a type of food that we eat. We try to stay away from unprocessed or from processed packaged foods whenever possible. So as far as the challenges and benefits of meal planning, I know I had a big block to planning because I feel like there was a lot that would happen that I couldn't plan for, and it would kind of discourage me from wanting to plan. So that was a big sort of challenge, was the need to be spontaneous and the desire to be spontaneous in our plan, in our eating. And the way I got over that was like this. It's better to have a plan and not use it than not have a plan and want one. So I try to be very flexible whenever possible as I'm planning. I try to allow for spontaneity inside the plan, but I always have a backup plan ready to go, or kind of like a spine of a plan ready to go, a scaffolding of a plan, if you will, so that we can kind of work off of that. And you'll see as I talk about our weekly meal plans, these are our meals from last week, you'll see kind of how that played in to our the plan versus spontaneity. So this is the process that I use for my meal planning. So number one, I try to check the fridge and pantry first. This is something I aim to do. I don't always transparently have time to like look in the fridge and say what there is, but in general, I try to use up things that I know we have to use up soon. For example, I know we have a wheel of brie sitting in my fridge right now that I bought for New Year's that goes bad on the 12th of February. So I aim to use that, and I'm going to make some baked brie for a snack this weekend. So just having a general idea of what I have in the pantry. I also know I have like 3 things of pasta right now that I'd like to turn into a meal at some point. So I might add cheese to my pickup order. And that's how I get my groceries. I do Instacart for Aldi. I do Aldi via Instacart. It costs $1.99 and it is 1000% worth it. So I think about what I have in my fridge and pantry that I want to use up. The second thing is I think about what I'm in the mood for. What's the weather going to be like? So last week was really chilly, so I had the idea to make chili. So I got some ground beef and staples for chili, tomatoes and seasonings. I also have a list of our favorite meals, things we like, just to kind of give me some inspiration when I'm meal planning that I can pull out and say, oh, we really liked, like, for example, we just learned my daughter likes beef barley soup. She likes barley soup. I was very shocked at that. I gave her some with most of the liquid out. It was just kind of the leftover barley, and she loved it. Like, I ate every last bit. So that was shocking and really encouraging. So I'm like, oh, I might make that later on. Something else we do is we start with the proteins. So we go with our go-to proteins, a ground beef, chicken. I generally go for thighs, although last week I went for chicken breast, so you'll see that. But generally I start with a protein. And pork is another one that we eat. I tend to opt for the lower cost proteins. When my husband goes grocery shopping, when daddy goes to the store, he gets really high quality proteins. He's a big fan of porterhouse. He's a big fan of, he'll get the scallops and the fresh trout and the fresh wild Atlantic salmon. But starting with proteins is really key. And then from there, for dinner, we add in vegetables. I think about dinner veggies. So our favorites are asparagus, broccoli, green beans, and Brussels sprouts. Those are my favorites. So, and they're also very easy. You can just throw them in a pan, wash them up, chop them up, throw them in a pan, and you're good to go. Or throw them on a baking sheet and roast them up, and you're good to go. I also have been doing a lot of squash lately, so that's another favorite that we do. Okay, and here are our meals for last week. So this is how I use the meal planning sheet. So this is kind of in retrospect. When I'm planning forward, I generally just start with a protein, start with some veg, have a general idea of what's in the fridge, and then place my pickup order for when I'm planning my meals. So this was a week of January 29th to Sunday, February 4th. So I had the idea to make chili. So I had the chili ready to go. And then my husband sends me a text that says, hey, I'm going to pick up sandwiches and soup from Pastrami Queen. I'm like, excellent. Okay, should I start the chili? He's like, yeah, why not? Chili goes well with sandwiches and soup. And I'm like, great. So would it be easier if we shared our meal plan? Sure, it would be easier. I don't at this point. It would be easier. That way we have an idea, but I kind of like the spontaneity. I don't mind when he chirps that he's going to be bringing home pastrami and soup from Pastrami Queen. I'm like, okay, great. So that's what we had on Monday. And on the side, I kind of filled in the groceries that I did get. Tuesday, we had leftover chili and soup. Wednesday, again, we had leftover knish and soup. I don't like knishes, but they are an interesting addition. And that's how we discovered that my daughter really likes beef barley soup. I think it was chicken and barley, actually, but she really liked it, so that was great. Thursday, we did chicken breast bites with roasted Brussels sprouts. So this was a new one for me. I had seen a recipe on Instagram and saved it. And it was one of those kind of annoying, and I understand why they do this. You had to comment recipe in the comments and they would inbox you a link to the recipe, I'm sure, where you sign up for their email list. And I'm like, I understand the process. I respect it. Wasn't in the mood for that right now. So I just searched chicken bites. And they were okay. We are not chicken breast people in general, although it does provide quick protein. At this point, the chicken was, because it was from Aldi, I think it was $2.51. Okay, it was $2.51 a pound, and we got a big, giant 5-pound family pack. So that's what we had, and it was a great, quick source of protein where you're not paying for the skin and the bone. So I would make it again, maybe with a different recipe. So we had that with roasted Brussels sprouts, and everyone ate it. Again, it wasn't our favorite meal, but we all ate it, and it was some great protein. Friday, I made chicken breast bites with a cream cheese sauce. That was much better. That was a much better meal, and some broccoli. Then Saturday, and I had plenty left over because I made the full 5 pounds. I could have frozen some to have on hand for a quick reheat meal. I just didn't at the time. We're actually running out of space in the freezer at the moment, so I didn't freeze any. Saturday, we went to the movies, so I had a chicken Cobb salad at the movie theater. It was really, really good. And I actually got some ideas on how to make a chicken salad taste a little bit better. So it was good. It was very expensive though. However, because I was able to save money through meal planning, I felt okay with spending a little extra at the movie theater to eat that chicken Cobb salad while we were watching the movie. We saw Poor Things. Interesting movie. And then on Sunday, we had leftover chicken bites. So for my meal plan, the produce we had Brussels sprouts and broccoli. For the meat, we had chicken breast and ground beef. Canned goods, we got some fruit cocktail for dessert. I made ambrosia. Let me know if you want the recipe for that. I got a good one from New York, sort of the New York style ambrosia salad. And then for dairy, I had cream cheese. So that is how I meal plan to save money. I save money by meal planning so that I have more money left over to save, get out of debt, and invest. So if you've made it this far, comment club, let me know. Comment the word plan down below. Let me know if you meal plan, whether for yourself or for your family or friends or what have you. I'd love to hear how you plan, how you save money on groceries and meal planning. So thank you so much for watching. And as always, I hope you'll keep watching. Bye.